I also want to thank the Vice President, His Excellency, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. When we went to his house, he gave us strong encouragement, and he promised that he will be here. The Speaker of Parliament, for him to actually give us kind of a break for our parliamentarians to be here. Let's put our hands together for our dear Daddy. We want to thank God for her ladyship justice, Gertrude Tokonu. And now they were sitting today on a case, but because of this program, she told us that she's going to be here, so they postponed the sitting. We want to thank all of you for the recognition and the excellent support extended to this conference. I would also like to sincerely thank our two former presidents, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor. Can I have Sheikh please come? Yeah, please come. Let's put our hands together for him. I'm going to say something in connection with the former president. When we went to him, he suggested that we should open it up for the Muslims to come on board. That is why I'm here together with Sheikh. I'm going to preach from the Bible and then he'll preach from the Quran. No problem. And so it is because of the instrumentality of the former president, John Agyekum Kufuor, that we also decided that let's open it up. After all, when it comes to Ghana, it's not about church, it's not about the mosque. So, my brother, okay. So, in due course, we'll hear from him. And then His Excellency, former President John Dramani Mahama. Now, when we were leaving his office, we were so excited because now we knew that we were going to have all the political device here because of the commitment and the encouragement he gave us. Thank you very much, sirs. We want to bless God for the life of the chiefs here gathered and queen mothers. We want to thank you for the life of all of you. We give God the praise for organizing and gathering us here as Ghanaians. Because of time, I will go straight to my exhortation. I will take all of you as my parish, my congregants. So I'm going to speak from the Bible. That is the only book that I'm so familiar with. And then I believe that that is the mind of God for all of us. So I'm going to share from the Word of God, from the Bible, the Word of God. I'm giving an exhortation of about 30 minutes. And so I want you to prepare and then come along. I'm speaking on the topic, righteousness exalts a nation. Righteousness exalts a nation. Now, one would ask, why is the church organizing a national development conference? Why is she coming into these matters? Many reasons, many reasons. But I will limit myself to three. Number one, the purpose of the church is the transformation of this flag, the flag of Ghana. This flag, every flag, please let me have it. Yeah, this one. That is the purpose of the church. That is why we are salt and we are the lights of the world. If it doesn't shine in the darkness, then you can't call it light. The purpose of the church is the transformation of this flag. Number two, history invites us to join in the conversation of national development. Number three, righteousness exalts a nation. I will touch briefly on the first point, And I will dwell a bit on the second and the third. So why is the church coming on board? Because the purpose of the church is the transformation of the nation. If the church does not result in transforming society, then the church will not be relevant at all. It is all about the flag of Ghana. The church's business is not only the salvation of souls, it is also about the transformation of society, and by extension, Ghana, so far as we are concerned. Because we are persons in community. So you cannot say, I'm saving a soul and be unconcerned about the habitation. No. If we are saving souls, then we must also look at the environment where they sojourn. What I do as a clergyman and what you do as a legislator or as a business fellow or as a teacher should inure to the benefit of the Ghana flag. Our focus and desire should be the prosperity of the flag, not any particular institution, organization, any people groups, or affiliation. We want to thank God for the various political divides that are here, but I want to say that every flag should be subservient to this one. Yeah. Every flag should be subservient to this one. If the lectern is not preaching about the prosperity of the nation, then the church wouldn't be relevant in any society. Number 2, history invites us to join in the conversation on national development. Max Weber was a German sociologist, economist, and a politician. In the year 1904, he wrote a series of essays about the evolving of capitalism in the Northern and Central Europe. These series of essays were later to become the widely read book called The Protestant Ethics and the Spirit of Capitalism. See, in 1998, this book was adjudged as the 4th most influential book of the 20th century. The central topic of this book is the role Protestants played in forming the new economy of the old world. Now, prior to the Protestants' teaching, the dilemma of the European economy was the fact that when landowners employ laborers, they could not make these laborers give their best. The only incentive that was widely known and used was an increase in wages, thinking that when there is an increase in wages for laborers, the laborers are supposed to view their work as more valuable and so work longer and harder. But when you increase the wages, you now see the laborer, he spends less time working and not hard at all. They would rather go drink and leisure. But the teachings of the Protestants change all that. The basic teachings of the Protestants was all surrounding values, ethics, and morals. The focus was building a better world out of what they had. I want to give you some highlights of the teachings of the Protestants. Number 1, they taught about equality of all before God. Even people every person is equally valuable, either behind the pulpit or as a laborer in the construction site. We are all carriers of God and His image. We can all contribute. Number 2, they emphasize the dignity of labor. Number 3, They emphasized the principle of justice and equality in the distribution of wealth. They believed that if you didn't work, there was no need for you to eat. And they stressed that. Number 4, they believed that the principle of the kingdom values and morals of the Bible must not remain in the church. They must be a part of the structure and the building blocks of society. Number 5, they taught that the laws come from Zion, that is the church, that righteousness must be the basis of the nation, government, and society in general. Now, number 6, the Protestants strongly advocated for the integrity of one's word. It became the basis of contracts, business, and commerce. Number 7, they taught that everybody has a calling, and that calling is not limited to the 5 walls of the church, and that our calling is a profession in which we are involved in. So if you're a Christian, you don't have to say, I'm called, because you are a minister of the gospel. But whatever profession that you find your hand doing, that is also a calling. Number 9, the Protestant taught that money and wealth is a byproduct of diligence, sacrifice, and hard work and passion. Number 10, they taught that the secular world is as sacred as what goes on in the church. Hence, you do everything as unto the Lord. You do everything as unto the Lord. Then the 11th one, they taught their people to choose to live for the long term. And this, for me, this one is my big one. They taught the people to choose to live for the long term, even eternity. This perspective of time motivated them to be far-sighted, sacrificing the short term for the long term. They lived with the next generation in mind. They were never interested in amassing wealth at the expense of the neighbor or the nation. It were these values that were later transferred into the United States of America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and other countries and continents where the descendants of these European Protestants were scattered in the 16th and 17th century. So everywhere they went, their descendants, they took these values with them, these teachings with them, and they got the same results. A developed economy, an advanced and civilized society, a generally more prosperous nation. In fact, the Puritans, who severed from the Church of England in the United Kingdom, moved to the Americas. And they actually taught their parishioners that as Christian parents, they are supposed to raise their children to serve the church and the state. In fact, they taught their parishioners that they should be the best of everything. The best lawyers, best teachers, best statesmen, best farmers, best wives, best husband, the best of everything. That was their mentality. Raise the people. Let them be the best of everything. Raise them, not for the church only, but for the state. See, Harold B. Jones Jr., pastor and former chaplain of the U.S. Army, attributes the economic transformation and development of America to the religious revival that peaked in the 18th century. For him, Christian leadership contributed greatly to building America with future generations in mind. Many could engage in the right activities, not and righteousness stands at a distance. Truth has stumbled in the streets. Honesty cannot enter. Truth is nowhere to be found. And whoever shuns evil becomes a prey. The Lord looked and was displeased that there was no justice. Now, justice is driven back, and righteousness stands at a distance. Truth has stumbled in the streets. Honesty cannot enter. Now look at verse 15. Truth is nowhere to be found, and whoever shuns evil becomes a prey. When you shun evil, you become a prey. The Lord looked and was displeased that there was no justice. I think we can all identify with the above example. Can we? Yeah. At the workplaces, if you want to shun evil, you become a prey. They will attack you. It is a fact that everything rises and falls on the leader. But it is also true that the character of the people a leader surveys will determine the leader's success or otherwise. I was listening closely to the patriotic songs that we have sung so far. And we realized that our forebears, they place the honors of the development on the land upon the people, not the leader. No leader will succeed unless your people change. You can't. You work very hard, but you may not be able to succeed. When the people a leader presides over do not uphold values, achieving success as a leader will be a difficult thing to attain. Why didn't Moses, Israel's greatest leader, enter the promised land? The answer is simple. He himself said, because of you. God told me you will not go into Canaan. So because of the people, the whole Moses was denied entry into the promised land. Why did the whole high priest Aaron make for Israel a golden calf for worship? The whole high priest. His answer and his response to his brother Moses was the pressure of the people. Why was he, Aaron, denied space in the promised land? It's all because of the people. No leader will enter his envisioned promised land if his people do not want to go there. You can't go. So, for us to really see development as we desire, we need to pay attention to the kind of people we want to become in future. Democracy is still the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So it is all about the people, what they bring on board. Why moral vision? Why moral vision? Our developmental goals and our political manifestos all addresses what we want our people to have in future, not the kind of people we want to become in future. So let's give them road, let's give them water, let's give them that. So we have been giving without paying attention to the kind of people we give to. And this is what this conference seeks to cure. The most important factor in the development of a nation is the nature of its citizens. The character they have, the values they hold, the competence they come along with, and the commitment to the cause of the nation they have. We are not by this saying that infrastructural development, technological advances, etc. are not important. No, this is not what we are saying. In the view of the Church of Pentecost, we think that the key to the nation's development lies in the character of its people, and that a nation does not rise in development above the character of its citizens. We want to make an appeal here. We therefore need to have a set of moral principles that will guide the life of this nation. A socially approved and acceptable pattern and norms of proper conduct that is shared by all. For no nation can realize its potential with a people who live by conflicting values. This is from my friend, Professor Belanyo Adadivo. Let me just take that again. A brother is saying that no nation can realize its potential with a people who live by conflicting values. Moral principles are fixed. They do not change with every view, every new event or situation. Moral principles is a compass forever fixed and forever true. And that is important in business as it is in the classroom. Moral principles will result in strong institutions and structures that will uphold our nation. Principles and values like the principles of work and the dignity of labor, principles of service, respect for all, honesty, kindness, love, faithfulness, truthfulness, forgiveness, contentment, humility, integrity, respect for time, respect for the law. I mean moral uprightness to generate the desired transformation. Without a moral vision, a nation is tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine, and eventually it degenerates into entropy. A vision makes a person, and a moral vision makes a nation. So when you talk about the United States of America, they love their flag. But ours, unless Blaster is playing soccer, you don't see this one. You don't see it. We need to integrate moral vision into the concept of the national development, or better still, make it its foundation. The discipline of living by these values must be intentional to the extent that they must result in behavioral change. This will create an environment that will be hostile to corruption. See, if you want to deal with corruption, create an environment for it that will be hostile to it. I mean corruption of all sorts, bribery, over-invoicing and under-invoicing, corruption of water bodies, air pollution, deforestation, immorality, He worked for the good of his people and spoke up for the welfare of all the Jews. Let's begin to think of who we want to become in future. And that would depend on how much sacrifices we are willing to make today. William Booth of the Salvation Army fame said, and I quote, "You cannot improve the future without disturbing the present." This is what most politicians fear to do. We don't have to live for 4 years. We will achieve nothing. If we are living for 4 years, 4 years, may retrogress into entropy. But may the Lord forbid. Because today we shall take a decision that will move Ghana forward forever. Let me just rest my voice by saying that I want to thank you for paying attention to us and coming. I've tried to open up with the why we have met. And I'm praying that God will bless us. This is the flag that we must all work towards. Whether you are an expatriate or you are a citizen of the land, you can't come here and take all our monies away. From today, we'll stop you at the port. Yeah. Everyone who lives in this land, this is the flag we must project. It's not the MPP flag, not the NDC flag, not the CPP flag. They should be subservient to this flag. Decisions we take in this nation, when cabinet sits, let them think about this flag first. When parliament sits, let them lift this flag. When churches are preaching, let them think about this flag. When the court sits, let them think about this flag. May the Lord bless all of us, and may He bless our homeland, Ghana.
Hello. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. First, we are taking a... Let's give another round of applause. Voice of Pentecost.